he's using for the body is Antron yarn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take two different colors. And I'm going to take about 4 inches of each one to make the body. You want to make the body first, so, and I do it in the vise. And I'm going to get all the fibers in the vise, stretch them out, and then I'm going to spin them counterclockwise, very tight. And I'm going to start at the top, and you just kind of change hands, and you just make this thing look like a soda straw.
That looks like.
So I'm going to get it tight, and then I'm going to hold the bottom of it, and I'm going to put tension on it, and then I'm going to grab it in the center. I'm going to bring the ends together, and now I'm going to twist it, but I'm going to twist it clockwise now.
Yeah, I got you.
There you
Okay.
go.
You got to make me contortion.
Whatever the other way is.
The other direction, and when I do that, I'm going to do that. See what it does? It automatically twists back on itself. Okay. So now it's not going to stay that way if I just let it go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out of the vise, and what I've found is that one of these electrical test leads works really good for just grabbing it. Okay, so now it's going to stay like that. So then I'm going to use, he's using a Tiemco 2487 hook, which is a curved, kind of a curved caddis hook. So anyway, and he's using it, and the bead, he's using a bead, and you can use brass, copper, black, whatever you want. So I'm going to get the bead on. And then I'm going to put just like 3 wraps of lead in here just to straighten that bead out. I don't want a bunch of lead sticking out of the bead. I'm going to get my thread on. I'm going to use a rib of copper wire. Okay, so now I'm going to tie this rib in, and then I'm going to tie it in on the back side again. And I'm going to come down the bend a ways with this. And then I'm going to come back up to the front of the bead. Now here's where the body comes in. You need to hang on to it or it's going to come untwisted, but I want it to extend past the bend of the hook a little bit. Oh, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I want it past the end of the bead a little bit. And then what I want to do, I want to actually unfurl this up to this point because I want that to kind of lay flat. I don't want it all twisted. And I'm going to come forward with that about to the point of the hook. And I'm going to come back. And then I'm going to cut all this off. All this excess actually works good for the tails on that first fly we tied.
Same great tails for the first fly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's good for it. And okay, so now got that body, and now I'm going to rib this thing. About four ribs. And what he does, he takes the copper wire clear to the front.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was. So they kept the lid.
I never saw it. It didn't make it there. Ah, there it is.
Okay, now the thorax of this thing's going to be peacock, and I prefer using full strands rather than full tail feathers rather than strung. I'm going to take about 4 fibers right up in this area here. So I'll tie it in at front, grab a one wrap, and then I pull it down so I don't have to cut it. Then I'm going to wind it back to right where the end of my thorax is going to be. Then I'm going to make a loop. And I'm going to bring my thread back up to the front. And this is an old Cal Bird peacock tool, but you can do this kind of the same thing with any old loop hook. And then I take it in here, and then you spin it. Get it as tight as you want. Now I usually take one of these mini hooks and grab it there because it winds better. Cut the excess off. And normally here I glue a lot of it. And then I'll wrap it. And every wrap as I come around, I'm going to twist this tool again to tighten that peacock. So every time I hit right there, I twist it with one more wrap. And it just keeps tightening that thread. And it really makes that peacock stand out. And right up in here, I'm going to tie it off right at the base of the bead. I use a lot of whiting hen hackles. I like much better. It's got a little more life to it. A throat hackle doesn't really move very much, whereas these feathers will. And I'm only going to need a couple wraps here. So that a Metz, yeah. The other one I think is a whiting. I'm going to tie this in right behind the bead. A couple wraps on it. What happens sometimes when you're right up close here, you're going to pull this feather out. So a lot of times I'll take this stem and I'll just kind of fold it over. I'll double it back on itself. And it'll lock it in. Glue on it. Yeah, and these things are really delicate too. So probably the tip of this thing's going to break.
Yeah, they'll break it really.
Yeah, well they break right on the pliers. The other thing, that's a little trick that Gene showed me, and it works really well, is you can fold these fibers with a scissors. And these feathers work very well. You see what that's done? It's folded those fibers back. So Gene does a little differently, I think, than I do, but it's basically the same technique. What I do when I come around, then I get the other side.
That time I didn't tip first, George. That's the difference.
But anyway, I'm going to get one wrap, and then you want to kind of fold this back. Get that second wrap, and I'm just going to tie it off there. You don't need too much happen. Yeah. The skin?
Cheaper to do.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a couple wraps on there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim a little bit out of the top here, because I want most of those fibers going to be down around the bottom. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of this superfine on here for a head, and that's it.
That's black there.
Yeah, black. But Hanley uses, he calls for either olive or yellow or whatever. The heads on these things are usually pretty dark, but whatever you want to do is get creative.
You need to put a little oil in
Yeah,
there. It's kind of squeaky.
this is my favorite thread.
Looks just
That's
like
it.
the one in the picture.